All right, welcome back to the Make or Break Show. This week we're gonna turn this closet into this. So we are working on this closet. This is actually for our nursery, which we are putting together right now. And so you guys can see there's already a couple clothes in there, but we're gonna use just a sheet of plywood, some baskets, as well as some metal rods so we can hang up lots and lots of clothes. So let's get into it. All right, so we're about to be painting this closet. We've already patched about 40 holes, which is absolutely crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 37, 38, 39.
Holes everywhere. We're about to sand those down and paint it in. All right, so we're gonna start working on the closet. I got the dimensions of the closet. We got 93 inches from side to side, 95 inches to the top, and then it's 24 inches until you get to the actual doorway. We have this crazy crawl space that we have to get a ladder up to. So when I build the shelves, I need to make sure I leave a gap there. This is actually from my wife. We're gonna have kind of cubes at the bottom. So to do this, we're gonna sketch it out. And so to build this, what I am thinking is that is all gonna be one unit. And so these are gonna be shelves that I'm gonna cut with dados. This will be a solid piece, this will be a solid piece, basically anything vertical, and then these I'll just slide in. So these will be individual pieces. We went to Home Depot and we got this, it's a 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, cut in half, and now we are going to measure 54 inches, cut it down, and what's good is this is already cut into 2 feet sections. All of my actual panels are a foot. So I made all the rip cuts on this 4x8 sheet of plywood. These aren't cut to the right length yet, except for that very first cut we were doing. Instead, I went ahead and ripped them because I had the table saw all set up so I could get the same cut every time and the same width. And now what we're going to do is cut these to the same width. So as you guys can see right now, I've actually put a dado stack in my table saw. And that just lets me be able to cut a groove out of this wood a lot easier. All right, so with the dado stack, it took a little while to get it all set up because I'm trying to get a real tight section like that. So then I'll be able to glue it, it'll be super tight, and I'll actually brad nail it into the other end. So now that we've got it all set up, we're gonna start making our cuts. So it's a little hard to see inside the shop, but this is the whole 4x4 unit that I'm about to glue together. I'm going to glue and then brad nail all this together. So now what I'm gonna have to do is cut the dados on either side of this so that it can insert into this once I get it all glued up. So you guys can see right now that I'm cutting those dados. I'm just gonna repeat this process for 2 more boards, and then I'm gonna drop it back into this unit, and then we're gonna be able to cut the individual shelves that will slide into this whole unit. So we've got all of the main side pieces put in, and now we're going to be working on the shelves. So we're gonna head over to the table saw and get rolling on all the cuts. So now we are on the fun part, and that is painting the shelf. We are through the first coat of primer. So I'm using a high gloss enamel, and that's because I've actually done a project before where I did not use that, and so I found out that when I put the things in the shelves, it actually stuck to it. So I'm trying this enamel, and I'm hoping that it's gonna give me a little harder and quicker drying time. Basically the process is I put the primer down, sanded it, put the first coat down, sanded it. You guys can see I'm putting this final coat of white on. So I've got edge banding that I'm using peel and stick, and you guys can see after I put that on, I'm using this guy, can ride it along the edge, and it's gonna cut off the excess. The only bad part is with this one's pretty brittle, and so you guys can kind of see there's a little notch right there. And so what I have to do is I have to be pretty gentle with it, and then go back with an X-Acto knife and clean up the edges because I can't make it the entire way. There are other options that will let you do this that is actually iron-on. And so you just iron this on, and I think you can trim it too. All right, so we've got the shelving unit upstairs, and the last step before we actually install this is I'm going to do a back piece. Install it on the back of this guy, because as you guys can see right there, it is not white and it's gonna be pretty hard to patch. So you can see me right now cutting that out and painting it and get it ready to go. Now that we got the shelf onto the top, now the very last step is we're going to add 2 bars. One is going to be right there, and the other one will be down there. And to finish off the build, we have these baskets that we're actually just gonna put into the slots. One thing that I did mess up is this center one is about 1/2 inch shorter, so it's 11.5 inches instead of 12. And so this guy can't actually fit in, but my wife had the great idea of using these wire baskets, which we're gonna use in those slots as well. This project overall was not super hard to put together. It's just a sheet of plywood as well as some rods that we're hanging up clothes with. We've got the shelf right here where we put things on top of. We can actually add another shelf up higher if we need to, and I can still get into the crawl space for the closet. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and give me a thumbs up below. And if you guys did not know, I recently started a podcast where we're featuring makers called the Make or Break Show, where we dive into some of their backgrounds. So be sure and check that out. And until next time, go make or break something in your shop.